First, thanks Dave and Mike Treston. I think when they shot darts at all the alumni names and they hit mine, it was really a freak of nature, but thank you. Congratulations to Lee, David, Kevin, Chris, and Fran. I was fortunate enough to be here when Chris was doing some of those things, and just if you know Chris Downs, any of you who don't know Chris Downs, what you saw up here tonight was the way Chris Downs has always been as far as I've known him. He's just truly a sensational young man. Fran Hoey, I'm really honored to be here with Fran, and this is not to slight the others, but he happened to graduate with my son Terry of the class of '88. I'd like to go back 59 years ago and take advantage now of a situation that most of our young men at Malvern really do. When I was a young man 59 years ago, ESPN were the letters on an eye chart. Well, I'd like to tell you that right now I am committing to Malvern Prep. Since that time, I've been very lucky, and what I'm going to do tonight is thank the people that have been a major part and responsible for all my good fortune throughout my entire life. They've been loyal, my family, my friends. Loyalty, according to when I Googled it today, said giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or institution. These people that I will talk about and say thank you to certainly live to this definition. My wife Bertie of 48 years has been just, her love for me has been unconditional. And boy did I test it many times. As the giggles from the lady friends of Bertie here know that was true. She's just a spectacular, special person, and I think everyone that knows her knows that. My family, I guess the best part of me having this opportunity is that my family's kind of spread around and everybody has a lot of things to do. It's tough to get us all together in one place, but my son Terry, my favorite daughter Joanne, and my favorite daughter Susie, okay? Susie insisted she's my favorite, and Joanne insisted she's my favorite, so I have two favorites. Their kids, our grandkids, Bertie and our grandkids, Terry has 5. He has 4 girls, Emmy, Anna, Mara, and then they decided to try and get a boy, and they got twin boys, Sean and Joseph. And wow, what an awesome family, and I'm just so proud of all of them. My daughter Joanne has 2 daughters, Mackenzie and Natalie, who I can guarantee are saying, we just shut up and get out of here so that we can move around. But we're very proud of them, and Joanne and my future son-in-law, Don Migliori, are here tonight also. I'm very thankful for that. My daughter Susie and her husband Tommy, there's a real Malvern connection with Tommy. He played football at St. Dot's for Jim Stewart and has been coaching with him for probably over 15 years at St. Dot's. So there's a Malvern connection, and I think Tommy has bought right into it. And Susie's daughter, who is just a joy to all of us, they live closest to us, so we get a much better opportunity to spend time with them, and that's just a complete joy. 66 years ago, I met some great people when I went into first grade at St. Matthias. Yeah, you got to listen to me go all the way back there. A couple of those guys are here tonight. Actually 3. I forgot that Angelo Faragalli, who was in first grade with me, but also John Butler and Tom McCabe, who were in my wedding, and they've just been loyal, great friends all my life. Johnny also has a Malvern connection in that his son played at St. Dot's and now coaches the 5th and 6th grade team, bringing up all the kids to Stu's team, the 7th and 8th grade team. 59 years ago was a great day. My mom and dad drove out here and drove onto this campus, and as they drove on, I heard my dad say to my mom, And this is the school for our Joey. I had no idea how intelligent my father was, and all he was a poor farm boy from Ireland who came over here and made his way. It's just the greatest thing that ever happened to me. As you heard on there, the first day that we came to school, I met John Campbell, who to this day is one of my best friends. He was also in my wedding. So when I tell kids about this, when they're coming to Malvern, they kind of look at you and go, yeah, right. Well, you heard everybody else here, and just the brotherhood of this school is something that's beyond belief, and you have to live it. I was very fortunate to be among the great class of 1960. We have 4 members of our class that are in the Hall of Fame. We also have 2 very special members of our class who were selected and won the St. Augustine Award, which is one of the highest honors you can get from the Alumni Association and from Malvern Prep. It was a great class. The class of 1960 basketball team was the first class to win an Interact championship outright. I got cut from that team. It was coached by Jack Kraft, and he went on to be a great coach at Villanova, so I guess he knew what he was doing. But we joined the Interact in 1950, so it took us 10 years before we had won an outright championship. I think that, as you've all experienced, that has drastically changed. I continued after I graduated from here to come out to a lot of games. So I never left Malvern, but Malvern's Alumni Association was pretty much non-existent until, I guess, the early 80s, or when the school was just being recovered, thanks to some very, very important people. Father Duffy, one of the great men of all time. Well, 31 years ago, my son was in 7th grade. We were at a party, and it was a post-game party at some parent's house. And I ran into Bud Tosti, who I hadn't seen for a while. And Bud just said to me out of the blue, I'm sure Terry's going to go to Malvern next year. I had never thought about it. I thought it was too expensive, as many, many people have. Just that comment from Bud kind of sparked a thought, and things worked out, and Terry came here. And, you know, not only did he get involved in a great class of 1988, of which you heard Fran talk about quite a number of people that are just sensational people here. I think they've had 5 young men who came back and have taught school here. It might be 6. Speaking of 88, Lou Delfra, whose father, Lou Delfra, at Notre Dame, his mom is here, and because of her and her husband Joe, they have just been special friends to my wife and I and our family for many years. And obviously there's a great connection to Malvern there. We have another very special friend, Maria Franks, who is here today. Her grandson, Ryan, is a sophomore here, and he's on student council, and he won an academic scholarship. And his dad, who went to O'Hara, really wanted him to come here. It's because he knew how special a place this is. Bud and Bunk, John DeAngelis, 2 wonderful men, coached Terry for 4 years. When Terry was making up his list of who would attend his wedding, he went through a few people. Curly Schaefer, who I worked with, and Joe Potts, who I worked with at the Inquirer, were among the people on his list. And he said, yeah, Dad, I want those people there. And then he said, and I want Bud and Bunk there. And I said, really? That's pretty cool. I was kind of happy. I said, why do you want them there? He said, Dad, anybody that has had a positive influence on my life, I want at my wedding. I was blown away by that. I thought to myself, my God, what Malvern does for young men is spectacular and special. I have, by the way, when I said Joe Potts, one of my longtime friends, he's a few months older than me, so he's one of my oldest friends. Joe Potts is perhaps the reason Ben and Glenn Davis came here. He coached them in 4th and 5th grade in basketball, and kind of mentioned to me, and then I know that Frank Ryan and Bill Ford and all those kind of encouraged all that. So Joe Potts has a connection to Malvern in many ways. When I got bought out at the Inquirer, I got a call from Gibber. Bill Gibson called and said, you ever think of teaching? Well, I had been coaching kids for, at that point, probably 30 plus years. And I said, well, I've always considered myself a teacher because I coach kids, and I think that's what coaches are. And he said, I mean in a classroom or whatever, and we have some openings for some things. So he said, let's talk to Stu. So I met with Jim Stewart, and over a period of time, Stu hired me. Stu, Father Duffy, not only became kind of people that I looked up to, but people that everyone looked up to, everyone respects. And I'm just blown away that I can even mention those two guys as part of my life. And they made me learn something really important, and it's about humility. There's nobody more humble than Jim Stewart. And Jim Stewart has accomplished more and has more opportunities for recognition that he kind of shies away from. He's a special man, and I can actually say special young man because he's younger than I am. I've also had the really fortunate opportunity to have coached and worked with Kurt Ruck. Kurt taught me 21st century before the words were changed from Y2K. Kurt, under the guidance of Jim Stewart, showed how to attract a diverse coaching staff. He popularized females in the coaching staffs at Malvern Prep. And he brought students into coaching middle school and learned the experience and the ups and downs and how to deal with a lot of different situations. Kurt's way ahead of his time. He's a very, very special man, and he's Stu-like also because he's a little too humble. I keep telling him he's got to blow his own horn a little bit. He's a special man, and most athletic departments in the state of Pennsylvania really understand that. Did you hear the names that I just mentioned? And Mark, if you could put the lights up, I'd appreciate it. These are people that were in my life. Where did I leave that? Jim Stewart. Stu, where are you? Please stand up, Stu. Bill Gibson, Gibber, please stand up. Bud and Bunk, you guys here? They're not. Bud and Bunk are back there. I saw Paul Hornsleth here. Paul, come on. Did Fran make it? Is Fran Kenny here? Fran. Kurt, please stand up. If you want to know about Hall of Fame people, wonderful people, and people that made all of us want to be a part of Malvern and continue to be a part of Malvern, that's who it is. And I thank them along with my family. And I only have one 21st century thing left to say. I'm living the dream.